let's shift base now to what's playing out in the UK. We have Juliana joining us. Great to have you, Juliana.
Good morning, laddie.
Good morning, Juliana, and happy birthday again. I know your birthday was on Friday last week. I hope you kept my cake.
I have lots of cake for
Right,
you, for Innie, for Will, for all of the business team and our
right.
viewers, of course.
So guess who's going to be importing cake from the UK, but this time it's free. But let's get to the issues now. We see Governor Bailey's giving the lecture at the University of Leicester. That's coming up today. I believe this is part of the bank's Citizens Forum program. What are you expecting?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. The central bank governor will be delivering this lecture at the University of Leicester, basically spelling out ways that the UK economy can enjoy growth. And growth is the big buzzword of the moment because we haven't actually enjoyed that in several years. It doesn't feel as if we have anyway. And it's a very interesting time, of course, because just a couple of days ago, the Monetary Policy Committee decided to hold interest rates steady at 4.5% in a move which was widely expected. And that's because there's just so much global uncertainty around, mostly regarding global trade policy, which has intensified. The UK isn't necessarily on the worst end of that scale, but of course we are, as an island, going to be impacted by some of these Trump policies. So I think those are going to be some of the remarks that Andrew Bailey will be discussing today. But that speech has definitely been put down the pegging stool, because the huge story is the fact that Heathrow Airport, the gateway into the United Kingdom, was shut down for 18 hours on Friday due to a substation fire, which has caused massive ramifications, not just in the UK, but of course around the world, affecting hundreds of thousands of passengers, estimates to cost hundreds of millions of pounds. And there are loads of questions now for Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer and his Chancellor Rachel Reeves as to how this was able to happen, how energy and the fact that Heathrow was relying on one dominant power station, how this was, allowed to collapse. There is an ongoing investigation about that. So that is a huge story, Laddie, and that is going to have, as I said, large ramifications because, growth is, a big buzzword. This year as well, or this week, should I say, quite interestingly, it is the 5th anniversary of the first COVID lockdown. Remember, Laddie, Prime Minister Boris Johnson staring down the barrel of the camera, telling everybody you must stay at home. It was 5 years ago, which sounds very scary, actually. It shows how time is flying so fast. But of course, Britain has struggled to recover from productivity since then. So it's quite a big week. Heathrow just shows that if we are to invest in growth, we've got to make sure our infrastructure isn't dilapidated, hasn't been, suffering through austerity, and, we can ensure what we saw on Friday can never happen again. So big week here in the UK.
Yeah, definitely a big week. And I can't believe it's already 5 years since we had all the lockdowns and face masks and all of that. Hope we don't see that again. But what market moving data should we be expecting this week for the UK?
Well, we've hinted at Wednesday, which is a big day for the government. Chancellor Rachel Reeves is going to be delivering her spring statement. And, she has been on the airwaves over the weekend, giving some interviews, some insight into what is going to spring up in that. And we know that there are going to be 10,000 civil service job cuts. A lot of members of the general public, won't be too annoyed or disappointed at that announcement. But that's still 10,000 jobs. And a lot of civil service workers have been complaining over the years that they've already have been dealing with not having enough staff in the office and bureaucracy and already restraints on budgets. So I don't know if that's going to go down too well. And there have been hints and suggestions that there are going to be cuts in welfare. You know, how long does Rachel Reeves have? There was so much excitement about this Labour government and the economic plans and a boost to infrastructure and growth, but we're yet to see it. I think lots of her policies and her fiscal restraints and the tightening of budgets, I think these are long-term results at a time where people want to see, instant satisfaction. So yes, we shall wait and see, as we like to say. But yes, the spring statement is going to definitely move markets midweek, Laddie.
All right, wait and see. And we'll be right here waiting and seeing. Thank you so much, Julianne, for giving us details of what to expect in the UK.
Thank you.